They say Lagos never sleeps, but that doesn't mean its people don't dream. And I, Michael Chokuma, had a dream. Not the kind you nurse in silence, hoping life might one day smile in your direction. No, mine was bold, deliberate, crafted with the precision of a man who believed that hard work and loyalty would eventually pay off. At 32, I was already a senior accountant at one of the most reputable firms in Victoria Island, with prospects of becoming a partner in a few years. My life was on track, at least, that's what I thought. Maureen came into my life like a breath of fresh air. Beautiful, smart, well-spoken. A public relations specialist working with a multinational agency in Ikoyi when we met at a friend's housewarming party in Lekki. She had this grace about her, poised but not arrogant, confident but not intimidating. We talked the whole evening like we had known each other for years. And that's how it began. Ours was the kind of relationship people admired. Dinners at upscale restaurants, weekend getaways to resorts, surprise gifts, and handwritten notes. Within a year, I asked her to move in with me. I believed in testing the waters before marriage, and she agreed. Everything felt right, at first. But Lagos teaches you many things. Chief among them, even the brightest mornings can turn into storms without warning. 3 months after Maureen moved in, she lost her job. Company restructuring, she said, and I believed her. She was devastated. I remember the tears in her eyes when she broke the news, the way she clung to me like a child afraid of the dark. "I take care of you," I told her. And I did. She didn't lack anything. I paid the bills, stocked the kitchen, and even made her coffee in bed on slow mornings. I never complained. That was what love was supposed to look like, right? But something changed. Gradually. It started with how long she stayed in the bathroom with her phone. Then the sudden need to put passwords on apps she never used to lock. The new perfumes. The discreet smiles at her screen when she thought I wasn't watching. Our intimacy dried up like water in Harmattan. It wasn't just physical, it was like I was sharing my home with a ghost. I asked nothing. Instead, I watched. Suspicion is a disease that spreads in silence. It eats you from the inside while you wear a smile on the outside. I remember the night I finally decided to know the truth. She had fallen asleep on the couch, her phone loosely tucked beside her. My hands trembled slightly as I connected her WhatsApp to a clone app on my device. I felt like a criminal, and yet I was the one being deceived. The messages hit me like a truck. It was my neighbor, the one 2 flats away, Chuka. Casual greetings had turned to suggestive jokes. Suggestive jokes had turned to full-blown sexting. Then to plans. Then to meetings. In my absence. In my house. My heart beat in my ears. My stomach twisted. But I didn't throw the phone. I didn't shake her awake in anger. I didn't scream. I took screenshots. I archived them in a folder called Truth. And I kept pretending. It's a strange thing watching someone you once trusted lie straight to your face and smiling while they do it. From the moment I read those chats, Maureen became a character in a play I had already seen the ending of. Everything she said, every touch, every excuse to not be intimate, I measured against the filth I had read. "I'm just tired lately," she said one evening when I leaned in to kiss her. She turned her face away. I smiled. "Of course. You've been through a lot," I replied. She looked at me, her eyes searching mine. I could almost see the wheels turning, wondering if I suspected anything. But I didn't flinch. I became calmer, more thoughtful. I started taking late-night walks around the estate, not because I needed air, but because I wanted to see if I could catch them. I never did. They were careful. too careful. Until they made a mistake. Faith had always been there, a steady presence in the background of my life. We worked together in the same department. Reserved, intelligent, always composed. She had once confessed feelings for me, back when I first started dating Maureen. I had turned her down gently, told her I was committed. The day she met Maureen was the day she came to my flat to drop off some documents I had forgotten at work. Maureen answered the door. Faith didn't say much that day, she just passed me the files and left quickly. But the next morning, she walked into my office, closed the door behind her, and sat without asking. "I don't like her," she said quietly. I looked up. "Who?" "Maureen. Your fiancée." I chuckled. "Jealousy doesn't suit you." Her eyes didn't waver. "It's not jealousy, Michael. I just have a bad feeling. There's something hollow about her smile." At the time, I thought Faith was being dramatic. I laughed it off and changed the topic. But days later, as I lay in bed beside Maureen, who had her back turned to me as usual, I remembered Faith's words. There's something hollow about her smile. How right she was. The affair continued. Bold. Shameless. Every day, I saw more of it in their messages. Maureen lied to him too. Told him I was controlling, that I barely touched her. That I was too focused on work. She called me boring. Said she stayed with me because I was a safety net. A safety net. The irony. I was the one who had given her shelter when she had nothing. Still, I never confronted her. I had no interest in drama or explanations. I wanted something cleaner. Colder. I wanted her to fall hard. Fate, as though listening, handed me the first tool I needed. She got a job. A new PR agency on the mainland, a 45-minute drive from my apartment. She was excited. I pretended to be too. And when she mentioned that the job required her to work odd hours, including weekends, I encouraged her. That's great. You'll grow fast, I said. She smiled and hugged me. I smiled back, hiding the invisible dagger I had begun to sharpen. When Maureen got the offer letter from the new agency, she danced around the living room like a child. She kissed me more that day than she had in the last 3 months combined. Maybe guilt was clawing at her conscience. Or maybe, in her twisted mind, I was the fool she had outwitted once again. Either way, I played along. I'm proud of you, I told her, handing her a glass of wine. This will be a fresh start. Little did she know, it was mine, not hers. 3 weeks later, she moved out. Said it made more sense to stay close to work and avoid the long commute. She found a small 1-bedroom apartment in Ikeja. I even offered to pay part of the rent as a gesture of support. She hugged me tightly that night before she left. I love you, Michael, she whispered. I know, I whispered back. I watched her walk out with her boxes, a fake tear forming in my eye. As soon as the door closed, I poured myself a drink, collapsed onto the couch, and allowed the weight of her exit to settle. The game had begun. With Maureen out of the house, peace returned. And Faith became more than just a coworker. I didn't rush it. She had always been patient, and I knew I had to move slowly, not just for appearances, but for me. I needed to cleanse myself of Maureen's shadow before letting someone else in. But Faith had a way of healing that didn't feel forced. She didn't try to erase the past, she simply made the present more bearable. We'd spend evenings cooking together, laughing, talking about work. She never pushed for commitment, never asked what I wanted from her. And maybe that's what made me want her more. One Friday evening, she stayed over after a heavy rainstorm. We didn't plan it. We just sat on the couch, watching the water batter the windows, sipping tea. And in that quiet, we kissed. Slowly. Gently. It wasn't lust. It was release. Afterward, she rested her head on my chest and whispered, "Are you sure you're ready for this?" I didn't answer with words. I kissed her forehead instead. Months passed. Faith and I grew closer, and Maureen became more distant. Not because she wanted to, but because I made sure of it. She still called occasionally, especially when things weren't going well at her new job. I'd listen, nod, offer short words of comfort, then hang up. I limited how often she visited, citing tight schedules and work stress. She began to notice the coldness, but couldn't say anything, not without revealing her own guilt. Meanwhile, her lover, my dear neighbor Chuka, had his own plans. He broke up with her without warning, announcing he was relocating to Canada to join his girlfriend. Poetic justice. The day I saw him loading boxes into a boat truck, I waved at him from my balcony and smiled. He looked up, waved back, oblivious to the wreckage he had left behind. That same night, Maureen called. "He left," she said, her voice cracking. "He just left." I paused, pretending not to know. "Who?" I asked. She was silent for a moment. "No one," she said, realizing that she had made a slip. That was the last straw breaking inside her. And it was the perfect time to strike. It was subtle, like everything I did. Faith and I had become more than lovers, we had become partners. She understood me. She never pried about Maureen, but I knew she suspected something deeper than I had told her. She never forced the truth. Instead, she gave me space. And in that silence, she won me over completely. One quiet Sunday evening, I made a simple dinner. Set the table. No candles. No photographers. Just sincerity and my phone positioned in a corner to capture the moment. When she walked into the kitchen, I was already on one knee. Her hands flew to her mouth. "Michael, I know this may seem sudden," I said, "but I also know peace is rare. And you bring me peace." Her eyes welled with tears. "Yes. 1,000 times yes." We laughed, we cried tears of happiness, we kissed. Then I did the one thing that turned a personal joy into public warfare. I posted the proposal video. A soft caption beneath, "To peace. To love. To new beginnings." 20 minutes later, my phone buzzed, not once, not twice, but over 30 times. Maureen had seen it. And she was unraveling. I never blocked her, not entirely. I wanted her to watch. I wanted her to see every image of the life she destroyed and the woman who replaced her. She called. I didn't pick. She texted. I didn't reply. The messages ranged from rage to regret. "So you just moved on like that? What did I do? Was she the reason you pushed me away? Michael, please. Just let me talk to you. I made a mistake, but I never stopped loving you. Please, don't marry her." Each message, a symphony of guilt. Each word, a mirror held up to her soul. Still, I didn't respond. Until one night, I sent her a message. Just one. No words. No commentary. Only screenshots, every WhatsApp chat I had cloned between her and Chuka. Her filth. Her fantasies. Her betrayal. All of it. It took her over 3 hours to reply. And when she did, it was the first time she broke completely. "I'm sorry, Michael. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought you didn't care anymore. I was stupid. Please don't hate me. Please don't shut me out. I didn't reply. But I did block her. And I called my estate security the next morning. No more access for Maureen, I instructed. Not unless I give express permission. They nodded. And that was it. She was locked out of my house, my life, and my peace. Word spread quickly among our friends. People who once praised her relationship with me began to whisper. Some posted subtle jabs on WhatsApp status, not directly at her, but enough for her to know. Her reputation in our mutual circles crumbled. She tried to salvage it. Tried to paint herself as the victim. She said I had replaced her too quickly, claimed I had probably been seeing fate all along. But screenshots don't lie. And when a mutual friend exposed the messages I had sent, a proof of her affair with Chuka, her story fell apart. Worse still, Chuka never contacted her again. Never explained. Never apologized. She was left with silence. The same silence she had handed me, night after night, when she turned her back in bed and texted another man in my house. Now, that silence echoed in her flat, her career, and her heart. And I slept peacefully for the first time in nearly a year. I often wondered what haunted her more, the silence or the finality. Maureen tried, in vain, to reach me through proxies. Friends. Colleagues. Even church acquaintances we hadn't seen in months. She's really sorry, one mutual friend said, nervously. She's not eating well. She's depressed. I nodded politely, but said nothing. She just wants closure, another insisted. She had closure, I replied calmly. She had the truth. And she trampled on it. The truth is, I had already grieved her. I had already buried that version of love in a coffin of quiet disappointment. And now, I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't bitter. I was just indifferent. That, perhaps, was what hurt her the most. Indifference. When someone no longer inspires love or hatred, but only silence, they become a ghost. And Maureen had become just that. People often think revenge is fire, loud, destructive, unforgiving. But mine was different. Mine was quiet. Cold. Measured. I didn't scream. I didn't curse. I didn't raise my hands. I didn't even raise my voice. I simply let her fall into the hole she dug. Some nights, I would sit beside Faith on our balcony, sipping wine as the sun dipped beneath the Lagos skyline. She would hold my hand, and I would think, this is what love is supposed to feel like. Safe. Warm. Rooted. Faith never once asked about Maureen again after our engagement. She trusted me. And in that trust, I found healing. She helped me rebuild, not by doing anything grand, but by doing the little things consistently, listening, understanding, being present. Her presence silenced the chaos Maureen had left behind. When I looked at Faith, I didn't see a rebound. I saw restoration. The wedding was intimate, just under 100 guests. Friends. Family. Colleagues. No drama. No shadows from the past. And no Maureen. She had tried one last time, a week before the wedding. Sent a long message through a number I didn't have, the kind people write when their hearts are caving in. She apologized. Deeply. Sincerely, I think. She acknowledged everything, the lies, the betrayal, the shame. She said she had been foolish, that she had destroyed something sacred. She didn't ask me to call off the wedding. She just said she wished me happiness and hoped someday I could forgive her. I read the message twice. then archived it. I wasn't angry anymore. I didn't even feel satisfaction. I just felt peace. And on that beautiful Saturday in December, under the golden lights of a garden venue in Lekki, I married the woman who had been patient with my brokenness. The woman who saw the scars but loved the story they told. The woman who never needed to compete with a ghost because she had brought me back to life. As we danced that night, my eyes caught the stars above, and I whispered silently, "Thank you, God, for endings. And thank you even more for beginnings." If you enjoyed this story, kindly like and share it. Subscribe to this channel and tap on the notification icon to enjoy and get notified when a new story drops every day.